Good evening, everyone. This is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Wednesday, October 3rd, 2012. So let's review the last update from Sunday for Monday. When I left you last, the S&P was on this hash mark on the left-hand side on the daily, and it was 1434. And then on the, let me see, on the, where's this here? It closed somewhere right in here, and then it opened up. And when I did the video, we were down like 600 or 700 points, and I was thinking, wow, everything I said is going to come true, and it's just going to start dumping on Monday. And then all of a sudden, at 10 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night on Sunday, it just took off from 1427 till 9 o'clock in the morning, 1451. So not only did it make up to 700, but it went another 1500. And I thought, maybe I'm not right. But look at what happened during the daytime. And my point is, I'm watching the waves here, and even though there are some buyers with thin volume coming in overnight, the waves are still going down. And T1, as a refresher, this is the first one is T1, the second one is T2, the third set is T3, the fourth set is T4, and the fifth set is T5. And it works the same for the 21-minute as it does for the daily or any other time frame. So, and there are different varying lengths of time. So it started off, it hit a high of, at 9 o'clock in the morning of 1451, and then it just started coming down and coming down and coming down. At the end of the day, either, I don't remember, either neutral or down a couple hundred. And then today the same thing, ends the day down, like right here, and just jackknifes. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Just jackknifes to the upside, right here into the open. And so I'm thinking every time I'm doing these videos and into the evening that everything looks okay, and then something happens that there's some short covering on small volume and it takes it higher. But in the end, the waves are telling you that it's still slowly, painfully descending down. It's almost like a schizophrenic market. It kind of reminds me of the time when I was actually working with schizophrenics in a state hospital when I was 18 years old. You never knew what to expect, but you knew that you should expect the unexpected, and you always had to be prepared for it. And this is kind of like what this market feels like. But I made note in the last video that the entire body of the candle was contained between the 8 and the 21, and the next day it went down, but mostly within the 8 and the 21. The next day the same thing, and right now we're just finished right at the 8-period moving average, exponential moving average, and the S&P is down 125 at 6:34 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday evening. So for day traders, this was the start of the day right here. There were some moves that you could have taken, mostly on the downside if you're looking at T5 here. And when this went back below zero, it kept you in there. Now remember, if you're using one wave to get in, you're using the next higher wave to get out. So you can even use the much shorter waves. Either here you would have lost this section, so use a much shorter. Let's look at a 987 to see if they give you better entries here. Hang on a second. For today's action, I actually had to I tried out the different Fibonacci sequences of tick times, and let me show you right here the ones that I use. I use the 144, 233, 377, 610, 987, 1597. I don't often use the 2584, but I do use the 4181 tick chart. And this is mostly for the ES when I'm doing charts on equity stocks. For Goldman, I use the 377. For Apple, I use the 1597 and the 987 because they're more active. So the more active the stock, the higher tick you can use. So I had to go back to the 610 tick chart to see where the action was. Now the day started right here, and you can see just using T1 on a 610 tick chart, there's just this nice swings all up and down every single day. I'm sorry, every half an hour, 9:15, 9:48, 10:12, 10:45. About every half an hour, just sequentially, was moving in this nice rhythmic pattern. The idea is to find the right tick chart that's going to match up according to how the trades, not the trades of the day, but the volume of the ticks and how fast the trading is. So on a very, very fast day, you'd want to use the 1597. But today, because it was slow, it's like, I think it was just under 600 million shares, and the vol spread, volume minus up volume minus down volume, finished nearly flat on the day. You can use the 610. So these very nice entries, and you can use the rounded formation bottom when it starts rounding up. That's your exit. And since I've been playing this to the downside, these are all when it crosses zero, that's your entry point. Right here, and again, right now at 6 o'clock at night, it looks like it's coming down again. And this is a live chart going on right now. All right, let's take a look at some stocks. Okay, let's take a look at Goldman. Goldman, let's move this out here so we can see what's going on with Goldman. It looked like it was just going to cave right over the 8 and the 8 and the 21 was about to cross. And since the long wave, the dark blue one is still below zero on number 5. That's the longest wave I have. It looked like it was going down. All of a sudden, something happened in Europe. It popped up. However, it did not change the dynamics of this wave, which is still trickling down on the daily and on the 21. And even though it did pop up here and cause this is what it looked like before the pop. And T5 was below zero. That's why I thought it was a good trade. It did pop up. I do expect this to come back down again. Looking at Amazon. Amazon looks like it's starting to roll over. I suggested at one point we had a target of 268, but it looked like T1 was starting to roll over, so we canceled the 268 and got happy with 265. But you can see that the 8 is about to cross the 21 here, and that's the first time that's happened since back in end of July. And if you're just day trading or swing trading this, you can either use a tick chart or just follow T1 on the 21-minute chart. Now, since T5 is below zero since September 20th, which coincided with the high on the daily over here on the left, you would only want to use, I wouldn't play these upside ones. I'd just wait for the downside move. So these were like 4-point moves, 5-point moves. As far as a target for Amazon, right now I'm looking at 240, at 244, 243. It might go a lot lower, but that's my immediate target. Okay, one of my favorite stocks to trade is Baidu, and I know I've had a sell on Baidu ever since it's way back here, and I took a little heat like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I also knew that the long wave, the two long waves on on T5 are buried below zero, and any move to the upside was just temporary short covering. And since T4, T3, half of T2, and half of T1 are still below zero, I'm looking for any opportunities on the downside when T1 on the 21 minute on the shorter term graph goes below. So I was willing to take this heat into the 55 exponential moving average, and it turned around the next day and dumped 4 or 5 points, and it's still going down. So my immediate target on Baidu, especially with the now that everybody knows has been downgraded, is still the easy play is going to be down to 106.50. My target is 99. Is 100 down here. That's the only target I have on that. Okay, Netflix is just bottom fishing. It one bounce, two bounce, three bounces at 53. If it takes us out, it'll be a new low. So that's why it's taking its time going down. It'll be this is already a sell. These are all below. T5 is below zero on the daily chart on the left, and the main dark blue wave is below zero on 21 minute chart. So any move, this is kind of sloping. This is now sloping down, and since T5 is below zero on the 21 minute, and T5 is below zero here, this is still a sell to me. Target remains 43.80. Okay, Apple went down to the 55 exponential moving average at 651. Let me see, 650.65 was the low, so a little bit lower down here, and it took a nice bounce off of that. Please make note that this is the first cross since July 31st of the 8 and the 21 period moving average. It happened yesterday, so we can expect once this goes down, it's going to try to come back up. Hopefully, if you want an entrance on the downside, if you want a nice clean entrance, you have to wait for a little bit more of a bounce up to 669, 670. And on a daily chart, whoops, this is not a daily. This is the daily right here. On a, let's see if we can find a move today. That's a little too, that's too long. Let's try the 610. Okay, nice clean entry. This is a 1 day, this is the daily chart. Okay, this is from this hash mark all the way to the end is what happened today. At early in the morning, 8:31, this goes let me see, T2 goes up. Actually, it goes up before that, but that was yesterday if you got in. Comes back, T1 goes down at 662, and it goes back up again right here at 651. That would have been a really nice trade. Or it's kind of like, it's a little bit fuzzy on T1. T2 is a lot cleaner. Goes back up here at the close yesterday, down below here, and then if you were looking to pick up some short covering, it came in right on T2 at 1407 or 207 Central Time. Okay, MasterCard matched its own top back in May, and it's kind of like hovering. It's not really doing very much. On the daily chart, way over on left here, all the way across. is a match on the top, and here's two peaks right here. So it doesn't. I don't have an opinion on Mastercard actually right now. I'm just waiting. I'm not willing to get it on the long side, but on the short side, I want to wait until until one of the bigger waves goes below zero. And actually, let me see. T3 here is actually starting to go below zero. All right, GLD is playing with the 8-period moving average, and it's starting to look like it wants to come down just a little bit. All these waves on the right-hand side are starting to come down a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if a little bit comes off gold. I do like gold though in the long term, and I'll tell you why. Here's an explanation. This is an article well worth reading. You can put it on pause and take your time reading it. I'm just going to leave it up here for a few seconds while I explain. It's about fiat currency, and it's by a lady named Lisa Oak, who's the anchor with the Asia Pacific's CNBC network. And it's an explanation of what fiat currency is, and it's basically a printing of money without any kind of backing, and and it may be demanded by some of these governments because their liquidity is getting thinner and thinner and thinner. It's debasing. The more currency you print, the more you're debasing your currency. So there may be a move. There's already a move to start backing the currency, like right in here. I can't highlight that. Backing the currency by gold as a to strengthen up government positions. So that's why I really like gold on a theoretical and practical basis. It's just a matter of the right entries and the right exits when you're playing GLD or buying gold bullion or buying commodity. All right, lastly, Google. Google had a really big range today of 15, almost 16 points. And it came down and hit its 8-period moving average and then took off from there. It finished off the average. But let me tell you that since on the 21 period, on the 21 minute chart, if you go back to right where my cursor is, on T4, September 13th, when it really took off and took out these old highs, or old near short-term highs, and then took off from there. For the first time since then, T4 is below zero, and that's all I'm looking at. I'm looking at reasons to get in and get out, and these waves are an early warning system. Now this is telling you T3 is telling you get out here, and especially here. And yes, it's a few days ahead, so it's not something you want to play on a Friday expiration when it's Tuesday. But if you have like a couple weeks left, and you want to feel the safety of it and go out to the next month, that's perfectly okay. Because the way it's acting, this could shed all the way down to 729 in a heartbeat, which is the 21 period moving average on the daily on the left-hand chart here. So somebody asked me why I keep highlighting the same stocks all the time, and the reason is that they have some of the most liquid puts and calls on the board, and that's why I like the SPY based on the ES, and I like what's going on with Google, Goldman, Amazon. I highlight the stocks that you can get in and out of very, very quickly, and not sit there and wait and wonder if you're getting your price or let's just take one more look at the ES to see where we are, and we'll put up a 610 chick chart here, and we're down 150 now, and we'll just have to wait and see what that looks like in the morning or after the debate. And I am still looking for this to roll over, so we'll see into the October 10th, October 12th area. Have a good evening, everyone. See you at the next update, and good luck trading.